So let's take a look at the solution overall. So this is our topology slide. So this is sort of how we do the integration, right? EchoWorks is following a pretty standard industry functionality here where we're doing integration through TLS or at the boundary, right? So that means all messages leaving the organization are going to be encrypted as it leaves. So today, a user creates a message, and at this desktop, he's going to tag that message for encryption. And so there's two fundamental ways that may occur. He may tag that message with a subject tag or a plugin. Alternately, you may be operating a DLP policy or a PII policy that's going to auto-tag that message as it's leaving the organization. But the key thing here is that inflection point, the point of routing to EchoWorks, is really happening at the boundary. And so one of the big advantages of that is that there's no real requirement for software at the endpoint. But as that message leaves, essentially what we see here is the message leaves up from the user's inbox. As it gets to the boundary, to the edge, so your SEG gateway or some DLP engine is going to see that message has been tagged or sees that it's required to be encrypted. EchoWorks will, or that SEG gateway will then route that message over a secure connection, TLS, so now we're encrypting that connection there. And at the point of reception at EchoWorks, we then now will apply our own policy engine. So our policy engine now is really about how that message should be encrypted, how it should be encrypted, how it should be branded, and how that message should be treated. Now that policy may be very straightforward in that everything being received will be TLS with a fallback to Portal or simply Portal. But it can be far more than that. The policy engine here can now encase business requirements that say, hey, for all messages going to this particular customer must be PGP. But if it's a message class of this level, then we want a TLS fallback to Portal. So you are now in control of encompassing or encasing those business requirements within our platform, giving you a lot of flexibility. Once that message then is encrypted, it'll be transformed. If it's a portal message, we use SMIME encryption to protect that portal. That's all HSM backed, so all those messages are encrypted with the HSM functionality to prevent any kind of exfiltration of that data. Any outbound communications like attachment encryption or SMIME or PGP are going to be staged for outbound delivery. At this point, EchoWorks can notify the sender of that message being encrypted, so he'll receive a notification. What's key about this is that the sender can be notified if that message has been encrypted and then how it's been encrypted. And EchoWorks has the unique functionality that a particular message can actually be broken down into multiple delivery channels. So for instance, a single message may go out TLS, PGP, and Portal without actually requiring us to do anything special. So we will find the best delivery mechanisms either based on the policy controls in terms of what's allowed or what the recipient is capable of receiving. So that notification gives that sender sort of that visibility of how something has been encrypted, but then it also gives them the ability to drill down on that message at the portal. If it's a portal delivery, that gives the sender the ability to look at a full audit history of that message, if it's changed, if it's been downloaded or accessed, but even more importantly, it actually gives users the ability to recall that message. So often users will select Portal as a default delivery mechanisms because of that ability, the audit control and the recall. After that, those messages that are then outbound, if we take a look now at the next stage, we've staged into outbound. They're sent outbound through your customer's SMTP server and then delivered to the internal recipient. So TLS messages, PGP, full message encryption such as PDF or attachment are all directly delivered. Now that means then that as a customer, you then see all the outbound communications in your normal journaling and archiving, and you see all the outbound communications. So you have full visibility or transparency on terms of what's being delivered. We then provide also the ability to provide secure communication inbound. So that may mean if it's an attachment-based encryption or PGP, that inbound is going to be routed back through EchoWorks, or if it's Portal, it's going to still be facilitated through the portal. And what happens is EchoWorks will secure that communication to the edge. We use TLS to deliver it to the organization, and then that message arrives in the internal user's inbox in the clear. But that communication channel has been secured over TLS. It's because the inbound and outbound communications fits within your normal mail hygiene flow, journaling and archiving are still maintained, but yet we encrypt the communications between our cloud. This makes this both a very powerful solution to deploy and a very easy solution to deploy.